All right. Hello, everybody. We're back for another episode of Beyond the Field Pod. We got Josh Cohen coming on today. Going to be a really cool interview. Really excited to have him on and hear his story because he's got one that hopefully will inspire a lot of people out there. He's going to talk about it, I'm sure. He's went through some hardships on and off the field. And I'm really excited to hear how he's been dealing with it and, how it's made him a better person. Um, Went to Indian Hills High School in New Jersey. Nico actually played club ball with him growing up on PS2. Nico, how would you, rate Josh as a player, teammate, before he gets on here in case you want to say anything bad?
No, Josh is
No.
he's a great pitcher. Josh led the state of New Jersey in strikeouts his senior year in 2019, and that was the year after he came back from having cancer. And so obviously Josh is a very high-end pitcher. He's dealt with a lot of weird instances in college with the teams and his credits and stuff like that. I'm not sure how much we're gonna get into, but I feel for him because that's kind of held him back from being able to get out there on the mound as much as I think he should. But I mean, as a player, he's a really good talent, and as a person, you'll see in about 10 minutes once he
Yeah.
starts talking, it's pretty evident. But he's the best part about Josh is that he's so lighthearted, and he could talk about anything. He could talk about the times that he struggled. He doesn't get too high when he succeeds. And he could just really connect it to on a human level, which is why I think I kind of gravitate towards Josh. I think that's why other people do too.
Very cool. He's in the waiting room, so I'm going to let him in now. Um, a little bit about him. He threw two no hitters during 2019 in his high school season, so I'm excited to talk to him about that a little bit. And as he joins in, Josh, how are we doing?
What up, brother? How you doing?
Good, good.
Yeah,
Really
Josh.
excited to have you on. Just to let you know, we are recording.
Love
We
you.
we kind of just start doing a little recording before the interviewees come on, give a little background on you, and give a little real raw kind of interview. So there's no behind the scenes, us telling you what questions are coming. We super uncensored, whatever you want us to talk about. We're here. It's just some good banter for however long we got. So we
Sure.
appreciate you coming on. Nice PS2 flag up there. We see that's what we were just talking about, how you and Nico met.
Yep, that's that was my welcome back banner when I first came back from being sick, and the PS2 family made that for me, and everyone signed it. It was pretty heartfelt, and that outing actually was great. It was my first outing back in I don't know, like 6 weeks, or sorry, 7 weeks from my last treatment. And so my mom tells me the story is different from what I recall. I came in and I struck out the side. He says it was I still struck out three, but it was a little different. So I'll just take the three strikeouts and run with it.
Maybe a hit
So
or two or a walk mixed in, but
yeah. But in my memory, I struck out the side, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
I mean, that's still
that's all that
accurate. You did
matters.
strike out the side, regardless of what happened in between that.
Correct.
Yeah. So everyone who's watching on YouTube, I think the first thing we got to address is the facial hair. It looks sick. I love it. Nico was telling me a little bit about it before. Yeah, you can show up close with the cam so people can actually see what we're talking about. But he said you might have some YouTube TikTok series going on right now.
Yeah, dude. Nico, I was telling Nico about it in the way beginning. I had this because I was posting TikToks for a while. I was doing well, and then I just stopped. I didn't really have many ideas. But for some reason, coming into this season, I thought it'd be kind of funny just to grow out my half beard. And for those who don't know, um, as the cancer survivor I am, the tumor I had was in my right cheekbone right here. So I went through chemotherapy, parts of radiation, all that kind of stuff. And the radiation itself was kind of like a laser beam, and it went to the located spot of the tumor. So not only did it kill the cancer cells and the good cells, but it killed all the hair cells and sweat glands and stuff like that. So I simply don't grow hair from this side of my face. I don't sweat either on this side. And the doctors
That's
and
crazy.
and the doctors said, if you didn't grow back after a year, you probably wouldn't grow back. And on May 1st will be 6 years. So I'm way past that mark. I get like a strand or two, so like a little pop up, but that's all I get. So for going back to what I was talking about this season, I thought it'd be funny just to say, whatever is my senior season. I've never grown it out past like No Shave November, so probably not past 4 weeks. And I was like, screw it. I'm gonna try and see what it looks like. And today is day 55. I haven't posted yet on TikTok, But it is looking absolutely ridiculous
I
and
think it looks
outrageous.
awesome. I think it
if
looks
I
awesome.
if I could
Dude,
grow,
you're actually like Two-Face from Batman. Like
that's
it's sick.
I am that was one of my few nicknames that I've been getting is Two Face. But I mean, I shape it up to like I shave my neck and I shave up a little here. So I mean, it looks all right. I mean, it'll play.
Yeah.
I said I'm just gonna shave it at the end of the season. That'll probably be around 100 days. So I might just go to 100 and then call it quits because
Wow.
like going out in public now with this noticeable half beard, the looks I get, dude, is out of this world.
Yeah.
So
And it's crazy that you get those looks. Like people want to judge. They don't know what you've been through, or like, it's like, fuck you for kind of looking at me like that. But it's
yeah,
also like, who
Well,
cares? You're out
Josh,
there
real
rocking
quick,
what you want to rock.
real
yeah.
quick, tell the story of your. Well, actually, I mean, I guess I'm kind of throwing this out there already, but what your teacher said to you.
Oh my god, dude! I don't remember what day this was on. It's in one of my TikTok series days, and I walk into class. Oh wait, no, actually, I do know what day it was. This was so yesterday was Monday, so 2 Mondays ago. So not yesterday, the 2 Mondays before that. I walk into class, and it wasn't as thick as it is now. I walk into class, I sit down. It's probably the class like 12 of us. The professor's to my left, so he sees the bearded side, sits down, and he goes, what's going on with your face?" And I was like, oh, like the half beard. I was like, yeah, I'm just rocking it for the season, like whatever. He goes, it's a little weird, no? And I was like, yeah, like whatever. I don't give a shit. Like I'm just growing it out. I'm rocking it. Like I really don't care. He goes, oh, well, and wait, actually, before I get into it more, let me preface by saying that I've had this professor before, and he knows that I had cancer. And the project I'm doing for his class is about my cancer journey. But regardless of what he said, it was not, was not up to par.
So it
But
just completely just skipped his mind.
so what he said, he's like, I said that, like, yeah, I'm rocking it, whatever. He goes, oh, I didn't know kids who had brain cancer also get brain damage. I'm like,
Oh my God.
I'm like, bro, like your feel is just out the door. Like you have no idea. And obviously, like
He
I
got
didn't
way
have
too
brain
comfortable
cancer.
with you, way too fast.
Yeah. I was like, obviously I didn't have brain cancer, but like that's not the point. The point is like, how do you say that so out of pocket? It was pretty funny because I mean I'm
Yeah.
chill, like I don't care. But if there was like anyone else, they probably would have reported it. Um,
Dude,
but I
he's
mean,
Yeah.
what
lucky in today's time with especially in like a college setting. That dude could be in serious trouble for that.
hell yeah. But I mean, I pride myself on not being a part of this screwed up society that we're slowly becoming. So I'm not going to go report someone over something they said. Like,
Yeah,
what
definitely.
what is it? What does it matter to me? It's just words out of your mouth, like whatever.
Yeah. Who knows
So
what he was going through that day too, and maybe took it
yeah,
out on the wrong person.
yeah. So I mean, what does it matter to me?
Yeah.
But
No,
that's
that's
that.
very cool. So for the listeners, maybe can you start off by telling us a little bit of your journey? Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, whatever you want to share, like maybe so in high school here, I have some of the stats, you know, 2019 North Jersey Player of the Year nominee, threw 2 no-hitters during the 2019 season. Maybe it looks like even back-to-back starts, April 1st and April 12th. You went 7-0 with 94 strikeouts and 49 in the third innings pitched. You only allowed 18 hits and 6 earned runs in the whole year. So, I mean, crazy. It looks like senior season. This is all before
Post.
cancer. I'm getting a post.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So this
Yeah.
is amazing. Can you fill us all in a little bit more of, you know, the build up to of everything, time frame, kind of, tell whatever you want to tell.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say, when you read those stats, it makes me shed a tear a little bit. Those are the good old days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that back, but whatever. I'll get into the story. So,
Yeah. We got
um,
all night.
so, I was originally diagnosed at age 15. But going into that, I was going into my junior year of high school. So it's this sophomore year summer going to junior year because I was originally in the class 2018 of high school. Going to the junior year, I was at a 4th of July party and I took a picture with some friends. And as a typical 15-year-old, I just zoomed in on my face. I looked at my face, and the right side of my face was like a little distorted. It looked like my I was popping out, whatnot. I was like, what do I care? I'm a teenager. It is what it is. A few nights later, I'm out to dinner with my family, and I'm sitting across from my oldest sister, Kaylin, and she goes, Joshua, what the hell's wrong with your face? And then my mom goes, as a typical mom, she goes, stop making fun of him. But then she looks at my face. She goes, wait, something is wrong. Looks like the right side of your face is a little, messed up. I was like, I noticed that, but I didn't really say anything because, what does it matter to me? Because my freshman year, I was like 5'4". By sophomore year, I was probably like 5'11", 5'11 and a half. So I grew a lot. So I was like, oh, it's just a growth thing. Like my face is just rounding out or whatever it is. Like, I'll be all right. But we didn't really know what it was. So first move, went to the pediatrician. He clearly didn't like what he saw, but he didn't know what it was. So he sent me to get an x-ray, no cysts, no fractures, nothing. So I was like, oh, it's a growth thing. Like, I'll be all right. Then they sent me to a radiologist, ENT, ear, nose, throat doctor. No idea. Sent me to a few radiologists. And one of the radiologists put a glove on, put his hand in my mouth, and he's like, feels like there's a lip of tobacco, like on the upper lip. And I was like, that's not me. So that's obviously not what it is. And he's like, yeah, it's just a little, I feel a little bit of a mass. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's your bone or something. I was like, beats me. I don't know. But we were starting to raise a few questions at this point. We didn't know what was going on, and it's a lot taken at that time.
Yeah, was it hurting at all, or
not one singular symptom. I was a healthy 15-year-old playing baseball, eating whatever, hanging out with friends. Like, I was all good. And at 15 years old, I was back in the day, 87 at 15 was good. And I hit 87 when I was 15. And I was like at the top of my game. I was healthy and everything, whatever. So after the appointment with the radiologist, he sent me to get a CT scan and an MRI. And that's where it popped up. And popped up that I had a rare form of bone cancer called Ewing's sarcoma, located in my right cheekbone. And that type of cancer is typically found in your hip or your pelvis, except mine was found in my right cheekbone. And doctors had really never seen that. I swear there's only been like 3 cases ever. Just from what I've seen, probably 2 to 4 cases ever. But I mean, whatever. And my childhood ended just like that. I grew up really fast. I started treatment like immediately. I was diagnosed on July 20th, 2016. I started treatment August 1st, 2016. So I went through about 10, 11 months of chemotherapy. In the middle of that chemotherapy, I had proton radiation, which I was talking about, which resulted in this nice half beard. The radiation was between November 15, 2016 to January 6, 2017, dates that I will never forget. And I ended my chemo April 7th, 2017. So that was actually a few days ago. I just came up on that 6-month mark of my last chemo treatment. So
6 years,
April.
6 years, right?
Yeah.
No, dude, you said 6 months, so just clarify. 6 years.
Oh, 6 years, might be.
Yeah, you're all good.
You're right. So April 7th, 2017 was my last chemo. May 1st, 2017, I was officially cleared. So I'm almost coming up on 6 years now of being cleared. And so that's a story. But for that whole year, going to the academic side of stuff, I actually had the option to either do online schooling or do some sort of remote schooling or just take off the year. And, I kind of came to the conclusion. I said to my mom in the principal's office, I said, who in their right mind when they're sick wants to do schoolwork? I was like, no.
Sounds like the last thing I would want to do.
Exactly. I was like, no shot. And also I was young enough because in my original class, I was probably one of the youngest. So I had to reclass. I went to class 2019. So I went kind of middle of the pack in terms of birthdays. So I ended up repeating. I came back in the fall of 2017 for my new junior year. Was that? No.
So it took a whole year, like that. It was a year process to go through all the chemo and all the radiation and everything.
Everything put together is around a year. Yes. So then my junior year was 2017, 2018. And my senior year was 2018, 2019. So my junior year for baseball wise in high school was kind of like, just getting back in the groove of things.
Did you see any, like, obviously your body was changing through all the chemo and all that. So like getting back to regular life, let alone trying to be what you were before in baseball, was probably seemed like one of the biggest mountains you've ever had to climb.
Yeah. And I've told Nico before, I've had some crazy side stories to go along with my cancer story. But one of the craziest things is I put on about 44 pounds in my treatment during my treatment time, and that's like unheard of when people go through chemo. I started my treatment at 181 pounds. Within the first month, I lost 17, and I was down to 164. I was pretty skinny. I was in the hospital all the time, getting used to chemo, so I was pretty sick. And I had a lunch meeting with Mark Herzlich, who was a former linebacker of the New York Giants. And we had a meeting at the Giants practice facility. We sat down and we were talking about just our journeys and whatnot, his journey with cancer. And it was lunchtime. So he sat down, he's this big football player guy, and he sits down with this big plate of food. And, I'm not really hungry. I'm kind of nauseous. So I sit down with this little plate of food. And his famous thing that he told me was, dude, when I was going through my treatment, I was bald and I was fat and I didn't care. He's like, if I had a steak, you got to put it between two buns. If I had a cheeseburger, you make it a double cheeseburger. Like, he's like, dude, you got to eat. Your body needs it to keep it going. So I was like, say less. And from that point on, I was 164, ended my treatment at 208 pounds.
Wow.
And so I would say that besides my time in the hospital, I kind of felt like a normal kid. Like, my friends made me feel normal. I told them, I said, don't you dare treat me don't you dare treat me differently. I said, I'm going to look different, but it doesn't make me any different. So just treat me the same, like we're going to play basketball or football, whatever it is, or hang out, and I'll be fine. Like, I knew I was strong enough to survive. And that's one of my infamous or famous stories, is upon original diagnosis with the doctors and everything. The first question I asked wasn't, am I going to survive? Because I knew I was strong enough to survive. The question I asked was, when's the next time I can pitch again? When's the next time I can play baseball again? So baseball's kind of been my driver throughout my whole life. But since my cancer diagnosis, that's all I've wanted to do or play. So going back to that, I finished my treatment at
Super
208.
cool.
Yeah, dude, it was actually insane. And
Yeah, that's really, really cool how sports can, sometimes go further than just on the field. And that's kind of why we put this podcast together. Everyone has their own story of how they've gotten to where they are today.
Yeah. And it's wild in terms of like the cancer stuff, but going to even the baseball stuff, my junior year, like I said, I was getting back into it. I had a pretty good season, but I was just getting affiliated with essentially just high school sports again. I started to begin my time of college recruiting. So I had a few teams come look at me. It was like UConn, URI, Binghamton, St. John's, some schools like that.
Bigger time D1 schools, like mid-major, like really good baseball programs still coming to see you right away.
Yeah.
Like how much were you able to, like, were you back to 87, or was it like, a steep climb again?
That's a good question, because I threw my first pen after everything was done. I was like, all right, I'm getting right back on the mound. I think like a few days after I was done with my treatment, I was like, all right, I got to start throwing again. I would throw like here and there in between, but nothing crazy. And I threw a bullpen, my first one back. I had my coach clock it, and I hit 80. I was like, all right, I lost 7 miles an hour. I'll be all right. And
First bullpen back.
Yeah, and I wanted like I said, my perspective. My childhood ended really fast, so I grew up really fast, and I became very mature, and I had certain things coming into perspective and what's important and how to be grateful for certain things and be thankful for certain things. So I made it a thing for myself to not take anything for granted, whether that's in terms of diet, nutrition, obviously, so diet, nutrition, working out, throwing, sleep, you name it. I was on top of my shit. And within the first probably 6 to 12 weeks, I was getting my ass in shape. I was working out twice a day. I got my velo back pretty fast, I would say. And so by my junior year, I was probably like back to 87, maybe 88. Don't really know. But yeah, I had some big schools coming to look at me because my coach was good at recruiting. Not only that, but my talent it's always been there. It was just about me getting it back. And that was really good to see. Just my first year back, I was like, all right, like I'm here. Like I can still make some noise for myself.
That is crazy to me. I didn't know this. I thought it took you a little more time to get it back out on the field. But I mean, within basically a little over a year, you were back on the mound?
No, dude. Like I said, within 7 weeks was my first time back on the mound. And I said, like, I was still getting my hair back. I was still pretty much bald and I was pretty fat. And I told that's where the banner's from. My first game back was about 7 weeks later. I said, I don't care. I want to play. Like, I've had enough of this sitting around. And I was like, I'll get myself back into shape, because I only threw 1 inning in my first game. I was gassed. I was like, I haven't done this I haven't done this in so long. I was like, but just put me out there. Like I'll work my way back up and I'll be all right. So that was pretty crazy. So yeah, they came out to watch me right away. Another story of mine is this is about 3 months post treatment. I went to a UConn baseball camp. It was my dream school to go to UConn and play there. And my middle sister, was going there at the time. I went to a camp. I remember strictly I was the only person to either not let up a hit or not let up a walk. Don't remember which one it was, but I was a standout at the camp in my eyes and the coach's eyes because I went up to the coaches after the clinic. I was like, "Hey, coach, how you doing? My name is Josh Cohen. Blah blah blah. What's my evaluation today?" And he said, "This was your velo." I think I was like, I don't know, 83, 85, whatever it was. So this is your velo. I thought you use your legs pretty well. Your curveball is pretty good. But he said, we're going to need to see, to look after you further, we're going to need to see some more velo, some more progression in that sense. I was like, all right, thank you. Like, I appreciate it. Just to let you know, I just finished my last cancer treatment, my last chemo treatment about 3 months ago. So I'm still working back. And they're like, what did you just say? And I was like, yeah, like, this is what I want to do and this is where I want to be. So that's my story. And then we got in contact, shared information, and they're like, yeah, we got to follow you. So took that into the next year or two, and that kind of put me on the map with the other schools, I'd assume. So yeah, that was my recruiting. And then I committed my junior year summer going to my senior year. And then I had a freak senior year, like you said, which I'm not afraid to admit because I love those days. And
oh yeah.
And that's my high school process, bro. So it's wild.
Yeah, what was it like going out there and being as dominant as you were? Like you are still, I guess, 2 years out of, the whole cancer stuff, and you're out there dominating these hitters. Like, did you feel what were you feeling every time you went out there?
It was pretty unreal, if I'm going to be honest, because I went from playing because my original grade, the 2018 class, had graduated, right? So my senior year was with all new kids, not all new kids, I knew them, but just a whole new class. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm a vet. I'm gonna take the reins and I'm gonna do what I can because I committed UConn at this point. I'm like, I'm a big name. Let's back it up. Like, you don't get this chance because you're a cancer survivor. Like, you get this chance because you're a great fucking pitcher. Like, and I don't want to be known. Like, yeah, it's hard. Like, I have cancer, so I had cancer, so you can't forget about it. But I wasn't trying to be known as the kid who had cancer and now he's just good at baseball. Like, I want to be known as a kid who's fucking good at baseball, but also had cancer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I went into my mentality going to the year, and I worked my butt off just to get back to where I was from my cancer stuff to that point. So I was like, let's do it, man. Like, let's go make a name. And the season opener at home, I threw a no-hitter. My second, it was sick. It was, I couldn't, you can't ask for anything better. And my coach said,
Indian Hills, right?
Yeah, Indian Hills in Oakland. And then my second outing, I had a one hitter with like 13 Ks, 14 Ks. And then my next outing was another no hitter. So my first 3 outings were insane. And I was like, yeah, I'm here. Like, I'm not the cancer boy. I'm the great pitcher,
Yeah.
So it was great.
What was that like, playing at such a high level and you're just like going out there dicing? I mean, I did not fully know that this is how, the first couple starts your senior year were going.
Yeah. Like I said, it was unreal, dude. And I look back on those times because we're probably going to get into it a little later, but I haven't seen the successes that I had once seen in the past prior to college. That high school season, that senior year, was something incredible and special. And just to have that, I don't think I thought about anything, man. Like, now I think about a lot of things. My mind's going here, there, here, there. But in high school, dude, like, I'm just out there to compete. And I was just super grateful to be back. It's not like I'm not grateful now, but just it was so fresh. You know what I'm saying? It was so fresh from what I had went through to being in that spot. I was like, I'm just here to freaking play, man, because this is all I want to do. And just to go out there and just to give my team a chance every time. It's funny, a little story is my fourth outing. So I had the no-hitter, one-hitter, no-hitter. My fourth outing was against Ramsey at Ramsey. And I think, so the game was at 4:15. We got to the Ramsey at 4:09. It was something crazy because the bus system sucked. We got to like 6 minutes beforehand. They made me go really fast my warm up, and I was like, I'm a little rattled, whatever. I came out in the first inning. I think I let up like 2 runs, 3 runs, and this is my my first runs all year. 2 runs, 3 runs, something like that. I came into the dugout after the first inning, and I said, "If I'll say it's three. I think it was three. I said, if you guys score 4 runs, if we score 4 runs, we're winning this game because I'm not letting up another run." I was like, I'm not like this. I don't give up runs. Like I just bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And they didn't. I don't think they scored another run, and especially not when I was pitching. I think I came out. We are up like 5-3, 6-3, something like that. Every high school start, I went the distance. I went 110 every time, um,
Wow.
which was great. I love this electric, but
Probably great for
that
the elbow, great for the shoulder. Oh,
no, dude,
all those things.
I got a rubber arm, man. I can go out whenever, and that's how it's
Yeah.
always been. But yeah, that was my thing, man. I just went out there, and it was unreal that I felt like not to talk in a selfish sense, but I felt like I was like the leader. Obviously, I was the vet. I'd been through some shit recently, so I was like, no, I got this on lock. Like, let's do this thing and let's make some noise because we were down. We went into a new conference, I believe, that year as Indian Hills High School, and everyone's talking about Ramapo, our sister school with Casey and Woolley and all those guys. I was like, nah, Indian Hills can make a name for itself too. So
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Very, very cool.
I
All of
think
that
it's
is
so
amazing.
cute. All like the public school rivalries. You guys don't really understand what it's really like to, play with
Oh,
sometimes.
we don't
But
know what
Right.
it's like to play with the big boys, but when we beat you in the county semifinals,
bro, it's
Right.
baseball.
and
Anyone could beat anyone. So and guess what? Then we came back next year. We came back next year and we beat Hills too. So that's
yeah, I wasn't
exactly
there
how
for
it's
that one,
done.
so that
I
that
know.
one
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
really affect me as much.
I forgot the Pascack boys. I forgot you
Yeah,
guys up
I mean,
there.
we definitely got to make a little bit of a name while I was still in high school, and it is funny to look back on high school baseball days, but it meant so much to us back then.
Just to give you some perspective, and this is kind of what I was saying before Josh came on about how he doesn't get too high or too low, and I had a pretty good run at the end of my senior year. And I remember me and Josh were at PS2 just hanging out. I'm like, man, like I wanted that bat against you so bad. I was seeing the ball so good against so many good pitchers. I'm like, dude, I just wanted one crack at you, bro. Because I wasn't as close with Josh as I am now, but like I was friends with him and I, knew about him. And he's like, dude, I'm not like God. I'm just going out there pitching. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
not that I expect him to be a dick about it, but like it was just like seeing how mild mannered he was about it when
Yo,
he had
I'm
every right to be over the roof.
I'm happy you said that because I don't remember that at all.
I
That's
remember. I always
fine.
remember. Yeah,
No,
That's
that's
funny.
no.
I always wanted that.
I appreciate that. That makes me happy.
Yeah,
That's
of
good
course.
stuff.
No,
But
that is cool.
that's how it was, dude. Like, it's not like I was just crazy. Like, yeah, I just overcome this thing that not many people can say they have. But I was just there to play ball, man. And I didn't think about
Yeah.
Jack. I didn't think about Jack
Yeah.
shit.
So then you ball out, have an amazing senior season. What did you do that summer? Did you prep for UConn? Like what was that like? And then can you tell us a little bit about your UConn experience? I know you didn't stay there for very long.
Yeah.
Why did you end up transferring? Kind of, whatever you want to talk about here.
Yeah. So that summer, I was actually poised to play for the PS2 summer team, but I kind of, right as it started, I kind of decided against it because I threw 50 innings in the spring. I was like, I want to go into the UConn fall and still be fresh and stuff. So I opted not to play, just trained a little bit. And UConn has this thing; it's called first summer. So you go up early. I think it's like early, middle to July, and all the freshmen go up. You get acclimated to the campus. You work out with the strength conditioning coach, and you take some classes and stuff like that. So we did that. So that was great. Going to my UConn fall at the end of the fall, and I like talking about this stuff because it just makes you look back on it. And the UConn fall, I think we had like 24 pitchers or something on the roster at that point. I had the third lowest ERA. I had like a 1.7 or a 1.17. I don't remember. It was 1.17.
Out of all the inner squads?
Yeah, I threw 12
Yeah.
innings. And I felt great. I had a lot of people come up to me and saying like, yeah, you're going to be one of the few freshmen traveling. It's like, it doesn't matter what the players say or whatever. Like, obviously it doesn't matter, but it made me feel good that people were saying that. But putting it all out there, honest, I came into preseason, had a little bit of a shaky preseason. And then going to the season, I actually got gray shirted. And not many people know what gray shirting is. Do you know what gray shirting is?
Gray shirting is when you're being red shirted, so you're not playing for the year, but you have no medical injury.
No.
No.
Gray shirting means you're a piece of shit, essentially. What gray shirting is it's a red shirt, like you said, except you don't travel, practice, or play with the team or lift
What?
with the team. So basically, you're a piece of shit and you do everything on your own. So it was me and my boy Garrett Coe, who's actually still on the team, and he's pitching well, and he's been pitching the last 2 years. Me and him, we called it the boat. Me and him were on the boat on an island, and we talked about getting off that island because it was such a terrible island. Especially after seeing the success I had in the fall. In my eyes, I came in and I got gray shirted, and I was kind of down on myself. I was like, I thought I earned it. Like I thought, whatever. So
Did
The
you ever
highs and lows,
get? Did you ever get like the coach ever tell you exactly how he came to that decision to? I mean, because I remember you told me about that, and at the time I said the same thing. I'm like, I've never heard of a gray shirt before.
yeah, I mean, they didn't think I was ready. They just didn't think I was ready. If I'm being honest, like, yeah, I had not like I've had in the past few years, but I mean, I had some walks. Everyone had some walks, but it wasn't like crazy or anything. Like, they just
Yeah.
didn't think I was ready, mentally, physically, just in general. I was like, all right, like I thought I was. I guess I'm not. And so that was really the deal. And we were about 14 games in or something like that. COVID hit. Go back home. I train for the summer. I get a call from my UConn pitching coach to if I want to go play in the FCBL for the Westfield Starfires with my teammates Pat Gallagher and Reggie Crawford, who are both now in the minors. And then there's me.
Wow.
So, and we roomed together at Pat's house in Massachusetts. So Pat is with the Blue Jays, Reggie's with the Giants, and I am at Sacred Heart still.
That
So
happens.
so we play in the summer. I didn't have the best summer, but my velo was, going my freshman fall, I was like, I think I hit 92, something like that. And then my freshman summer, I hit 95 for the first time. And I was like,
Wow.
I'm going nuts. Like my arm felt electric. That was the first time Reggie had hit 95 too. I was like, I'm with Reggie. Like we're going to kill it. And it's funny because Reggie just kept climbing. He's up to 101 now, and I still can't get past my 95. But I didn't have that great.
95 still cheese for everyone listening out there. I mean, I can't break 90 consistently ever. So, I mean,
Reggie's also like a specimen, dude. That kid is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never met him, but just seen him swing and throw. Like the way his body moves, like so efficiently, is crazy.
Yeah, that's my boy. He's a specimen for sure. He's like 6'4", 250.
Yeah.
So I mean, all power to him. But that's how it was. So I mean, yeah, not everyone can say they hit 95, especially with my background. And I was like, all right, like I'm here to play. And came back in the fall. Went back to UConn in the fall after that. Still COVID stuff. Had a decent fall, nothing crazy. Had a decent fall. And there's some side stories that I don't know if I should get into with my UConn coach that were just really not acceptable on my end, but probably won't go into them unless I'm asked. But
Okay.
after that,
Yeah.
after that fall, I ended up transferring because I was like, everyone came back for COVID, meaning for their COVID year. I said, I'm going to get back up in the bullpen. I'm not going to play again. Like, I want to be seen. I want to pitch some innings. Like, I want to get out of here. And I didn't want it because, like I said, it was my dream school. So got out of there, transferred, went to the local Bergen Community College in Paramus, New Jersey. And boy, was that the experience of my life. That was also
community college bandit.
Dude, that was also in the midst of COVID. So we couldn't play any home games because the AD was absolutely insane off of he was smoking Zaza, dude. Like he had no idea, whatever. We had to get tested and we could play in home games, whatever. It's ridiculous. We played 13 games. We had to drive to every home game. We didn't get paid. I'm sorry, to every away game. Didn't get paid for gas. It was crazy. I think I threw 7 innings, something like that. Didn't do that great. Again, I was still now stemming from my freshman summer with the Starfires. That's really when my command issues started to kick in. So I lost a lot of my command, and my mental started going crazy and stuff like that. So my JUCO season was kind of the same. a little wild. My velo was still probably 94, 95 topping, but just didn't see success I had once seen. Then after that season, I played summer ball in Cali. It's crazy because Nico, I feel like we were talking about Cali like the other day, like meaning I was there, but
Yeah.
that was like
Yeah.
2 years ago now.
Well, that was kind of
Um,
when that might have been the first summer that I had Elevate.
it
Like
was,
it was like up and running. Like that was the first summer I did, and I remember I was posting about you a lot over there.
yeah, because I killed it up there. I got set up through my man Hefe. He set me up down there in Cali, and I went in. I had a great summer. I felt great. I freed myself, felt like a kid again. Over that summer, committed to Sacred Heart. Came to Sacred Heart in the fall of 2021. Um, and fall went fine. Came to the spring. Came to preseason time in the spring last year. I threw inside in January in a facility, Bobby V's, and I
Oh,
was
I've been there.
yeah.
That's
Are you
where
been to
Iona
Bobby
went a
V's?
few. Iona went there a few times to do some inter squads in there.
Yeah, it's a nice place, dude.
Yeah.
That was my first time being there, and so this is preseason. I was 91, 94 inside in January. I was like, damn, like I'm back. Like, let's fucking go. That same day, I got a call to go into the coach's office, and they said, yeah, we don't know if you're going to be able to play this season. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're joking, right? Like you're joking. They're like, no, we think that you're academically ineligible. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I have great grades. Like, he said something about your transfer. So essentially, they fucked up my transfer credits. Some guy from Bergen and Sacred Heart, they kind of screwed my transfer credits in a way where the problem could have been avoided before, but it wasn't avoided at all. So I became ineligible, and
Oh.
so I was going in with such a high. I was like, I'm back. I had a great summer. I'm throwing cheese again. Like I'm back. My season gets canceled. I'm like, great. This is my third college baseball season. I don't count JUCO because I barely played. We played 13 games. Wasn't a season. Like I was like, this is my first year I was coming in. Like it's gonna be my first college season, and now I can't play. So I went essentially the entire season without playing until like the last month. I filed an emergency relief waiver after 4 to 6 weeks. Finally was cleared. Came back. Was terrible. Didn't know where the ball was going. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself, bro. Like
You have
this is
so
insane.
much going on off the field. I mean, how could you even focus?
It's
I mean, that is so difficult.
it's hard, man. I got stories and story. I'll finish this up because it's a lot. But so that season happened. So last season happened. I took this summer. I could have played summer ball. I could have done a lot of things. I was like, nah, I'm gonna get my shit together. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna have a great senior season, just like my high school. I'm gonna have a great senior season and move on. And so I had a great summer. I cured all my anxieties. I got back certain connections that I hadn't seen in a while. Come back in the fall, pretty good fall. And then this, bro. Then this leads me to this season where I feel pretty good. We're I don't know halfway through the season. I've had two outings so far. I had one really good outing, one not good outing, and that's all I've got so far. And my first outing this year was against Wofford. I had a 1-2-3 inning, 11 pitch inning, which was fantastic. And I came off the mound, and I haven't told Nico, so I'll tell you too. This one hit home. I came off the mound. I came in the game. It was 15-8, eighth inning. Came in through that great inning. I come in the dugout. Everyone's giving me high fives, knuckles, or whatever. And I came and I sat in the bed in the dugout, and I teared up and I cried. Like I didn't like cry like bawling out, but I like teared up and like legit
Yeah.
cried. And everyone's like, "Why are you crying? Like what's going on?" And I was like, "Dude, the shit that I've been through, bro." And that was my first complete collegiate inning of my career. Was
Oh
this
my
season
God.
was this season my first outing, my first complete inning of going 1, 2, 3 outs. So I teared up and I was like,
I would tear up too, man.
I
Holy
was like,
shit.
I don't know what this feeling is like, but I love it and I miss it. And then I had an outing probably about 2 weeks later. Didn't go that well, which was kind of demoralizing, but I'm okay. I mean, I'm going to pitch sometime soon. So, like, I mean, it's whatever. But If that's not the cherry on top of the story of what I've been through of just completing one inning. I'm sure you've completed numerous innings in your career as a pitcher.
Yeah.
I completed one inning and I said, this was first time in 4 years I've done this. So
Yeah.
it's been wild. It's been wild, dude.
And at the college level, it's something definitely special.
Yeah. And it's, I've been at this my second D1 and I've been around the game a long time. I feel like I'm 6 years old. Like I feel like I'm a seasoned vet at this point. But I'm just looking for regaining that sense that we talked about of high school, where I'm just going out there not thinking, because I'd be lying to you if I said I'm different, like in terms of mentally. Like I've fixed a lot of things. I've been to therapy. I've talked to Hodson, the mental skills coach, who's my guy. Like I've talked to everyone. I've talked about everything. I've tried almost everything. It's not like I'm nowhere close where I need to be. Like I'm fine. I'm there, but just not seeing the success is really hard. And I told my coach that a little while ago. I said, the hardest pill for me to swallow is being at the top and seeing the success that I have and knowing how that feels, and now being at the bottom. And it's true to say, like, you don't even have to defend it. Like it's true, like being at the bottom of the barrel and knowing how that feels like, it's the worst feeling. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum. So I want to, obviously get back up. Who doesn't? But it's a really hard pill to swallow. Not being the guy and not being able to do what you used to do in the years previous. And it's not even in the high school level. Like I've seen success, like I saw in Cali, like, so I'm still striving for that every day. And if there's a message that I want to get out the whole thing is obviously of perseverance and not quitting, not only of my cancer stuff, but in baseball, is that my passion runs so deep and my love runs so deep for this game because of what I've seen in the past with my success. Is I'm not stopping until someone takes my right arm off, because I fiend for the energy, and like I can go out and have another 6 bad outings and feel like shit, and I can have another good 6 outings or whatever it is, but I'm not going to stop, because this is what I'm good at, and I know I'm fucking good. So, and that's not cocky. That's
so
straight
cool.
up.
That's so cool.
So
I love every part of that last little thing.
Paul, let me hop in real quick.
Clip it.
Yeah,
Put it on.
that one's gonna get clipped. But Josh, and I'll catch you up on something real quick about me too, because we haven't talked in a few weeks, I don't think. But what my question is that how do you stay in a positive mindset about yourself in situations like that? Because like I'll just get right into it. I stopped playing baseball about like 2 weeks ago, probably now. At my
no,
school.
dude.
Yeah, and it's very different for me and you. Whereas, like for me, I lost like all my love and passion for the game because of things that were happening here at my school. And dude, it was crazy because like I'm like I was a captain here, and like I loved my teammates, and like I was having a good time, but like dude, I was so fucking miserable at every practice and at every game. And that's how I was in high school, especially during like the whole like, recruiting process. And I would allow baseball to like fuck with my head and like determine like who I was. And then college happened, and I started my business, and I learned other techniques and how to separate myself from the game. And then I kind of fell back into this, and
Mhm.
like this was gonna be on my last season regardless. And for me, like it consumed me again. And like thankfully, because I've set like other things up for myself where I could spend my time in more productive ways that I felt personally. But
Yep.
like but it's like I fell back into that rut of like, and honestly, for anyone listening to this, everyone's gonna be like, Nico's a fucking pussy. Like, listen to this kid Josh and everything that he went through, you know
No.
what I mean? And but like everyone's path is so different. And like I reverted back to 2018, like 2019 mindset for myself. And like how do you stay out of that, especially with everything that you have going on?
Um, Someone would be lying to you if they said it was easy, because it's not. It's fucking hard, dude. Like I'll be blunt. Like I've been through the ringer. Everyone knows it. It's a probably a known fact at this point. Um, it's hard. Like I said, like I've been to therapy. I've been to all these places. Like I'd be lying to you if I told you there were certain points in my 4 years where I was like, I don't want, like, I'm done. Like, this is the hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
But first of all, I won't allow myself to quit ever. I don't quit on shit. I will never quit on anything. And that goes, I always refer back to my cancer shit. Like, who am I to quit? If I quit right there, I die straight up. Like,
Yeah,
if, you know,
real life shit.
that's how it is, bro. Like, if I quit right there, I die. So if in the game of baseball, which is a fucking game, first of all, in this game, who are you to let it dictate your life? You know? So that's first of all. Second of all, if I don't quit on life in that sense, who am I to quit on a game, dude? It's a game, it's a kid's game. Like, even the best players out there play till they're 40, 42 years old. Like, it comes to an end at some point. I will never let myself quit, no matter what I've been through. And that'll probably drive me through a lot of things, not only in baseball, but in life. And even like in certain things that have brought me down mentally, like my freshman year, this is a story that I didn't get into, but I want to a little bit. My freshman year, UConn, first meeting as a staff, as a freshman, my pitching coach called me cancer boy in front of our entire team. I've been called
What?
a lot of I've been called a lot of things. I've been deemed a lot of different things. It hasn't been. It's been a bumpy journey. I had an anxiety attack on a mound at my JUCO season. I had a literal anxiety attack where I blacked out and I couldn't even come set. I'd come here and I'd throw and I was like, I threw a ball at the top of the, like, bro, it's been bad. And after that game where I had the anxiety attack, I sat in the dugout and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't think I can do this anymore. So I took some time to myself, took like a day. I went out in nature and I sat there and I just tried to find myself. And what did I do? I came back. Like, I'm not allowed to quit on myself. Who are you to quit on yourself? That's bullshit. Like, I've been playing this game since I was 5 or 6, and you're gonna have a lot of bad times or good times. Like, a lot of things kick down 9 times, get up 10. Like, I've probably been put down like 35 times, but like, I'll get up 36, I'll get up 37, 38. Like, I don't care,
Yeah.
man. And I know a lot of things when you go into adult life, because we're kind of getting to that point. um there's so many things where you can chase money, you can chase happiness, but I've seen through majority of adults is, only money can only do so much. Obviously, I want money. I'm going to make money when I'm older. I'm going to find a way. But if you don't chase like a passion, then you're going to be miserable. And I've been miserable for the last 4 years, straight up honest. Like, I haven't been good when I play. Like, I've been miserable, but this is my passion. I'm going to find a way through it.
There's going to be the highs that hopefully you reach, and like this, you're going to look back at this low time and be like, holy shit, this was a fucking journey, but I am so glad I continued to push through to get to where you are in the future.
Yeah, bro. It just makes for a better story, and not even for other people. Fuck, do I care? It's for myself. You're allowed to be selfish at some points in your life, and this is a situation where I'm letting myself be selfish because, I want this for myself. So, I think people, if I bring it up now after my collegiate career and my my track record in collegiate baseball, people think I'm crazy for wanting to play pro ball or trying to play the next level. But I mean, that's the goal. It's always been the goal. And I'm going to get there somehow, some way. I don't know how old I'm going to be. I don't know when it's going to be, but I'll figure out a way.
And then just imagine when you're on that mound and, they're going through your whole storyline of how you've got here. And, that is just going to be tear jerking for many people out there.
That's right. And even for those people who say some shit and they're the ones working, bullshit jobs, and I'm still there playing the game I love. Like,
yeah. They're just those old people who try to get mad at the world. How many years of eligibility do you have left?
This is they counted last year as mine, which is ridiculous. I threw 2/3 of an inning. I threw 1/3 inning twice, because I couldn't complete the inning. They counted last year, and this year, obviously, I've thrown 1 inning so far. So this will be my sophomore year. So after this year, I'd have 2 more. Crazy enough. Wow. I'm 22.
Yeah, no, but I have kids on my team here at Tampa who are 24, 25. Like, it
Really?
with COVID and everything. Yeah, dude, there are some old ass. Whoever's listening to this, if anyone on my team's listening to this, I love you all to death. But there are some old ass dudes on the team, and we are 27-7 for a reason. Like we're all mature, older dudes who love the game still, and
Been through it.
we're out, been through it, been through a bunch of different schools. Maybe there's so many transfers here at Tampa, and we just love to go out there and ball out together. Go win ball games and just go out on the field and know that we're better than most of the competition we're playing. And it's just, a lot of fun that, I'm 23 now, so it's like, I'm still playing college baseball. It's like, we have the eligibility, we have the time, and we've been blessed with the gift to, be able to play at this high of a level. And, there are plenty of people who are wishing they could play college baseball. So I always try to step back and be thankful that, this is something that people dream of doing, and I get to live it every day. And, that's what we get to do and have fun doing it.
That's right. And I'll even touch on what I was saying before in terms of like my drive, and not even for like my previous story or just my story in general, but I've been affected by a few people in my life who have passed away, who I won't even say mentor, but I was just straight up friends with them. And they were my boys. One, I was my friend Charlie Landers, who passed away around this time last year, played baseball. He was from Wyckoff. We hung out a few times. We went through the same, we shared experiences because he was 13, I believe, 13 or 14, but he had the same type of cancer I had.
Wow.
So we talked about that and shared that. And he passed away last year. So my bracelets right here, I have 3 that I wear all the time. This is my John Hodson Win the Grind bracelet. That's my 3rd one. And throughout my years, I used to wear mine, which is Cohen case cancer, this blue and red one. I'd always wear it on top, but since Charlie passed away, I always wear it first. So that one is always above right there. So he's a big reason why I still play. And another friend of mine, George Jangoshian, he was a scorekeeper, bookkeeper in high school. He loved baseball. He didn't play, but he loved baseball. He was a commentator, I think, at Montclair. He passed away recently at the beginning of this year. Big baseball fan. We talked throughout his entire treatment. I was just hoping to shed some light and some inspiration and some positivity to their lives. And unfortunately, he didn't have Ewing sarcoma, but he had a different form of cancer. Unfortunately, they both didn't make it, and it affects me in a way because it makes me change perspectives again, because it's really easy to flip perspective. It makes me think about how I'm still lucky to be here and be alive and be cancer free and be able to do the things I'm able to do. So my pregame routine or my pre-throwing routine every time is, I fix my bracelets because this one's usually bigger than this one, so they always fall. So I fix it, and I always say what's up to both of them up top, and I just talk a little bit to myself. So that's another driver for myself. It's not just for me; it's for other people as well. So,
dude, yeah, really, really cool stories. This has been awesome. I don't know how much time you have, but I know this is something that's one of the
We'll have to
best
do a part
episodes for
2
me.
because like there are other like smaller pieces that I've just heard over the years, and it's like
I would love to
it's just a
continue to
crazy
have
journey
people
as
on.
well.
Yeah. How we do finish up every episode, Josh, is we do a scratch off with all of our interviewees, just in case, we win some money. We'll be able to, help you out. The college baseball grind, is
that's sick.
Not something that allows you to go get a full-time job either. So I thought of the idea of, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So we appreciate you coming on the pod.
That's fine.
I'm gonna scratch this off.
We'll take the winnings over to a Midland, Josh. We'll go over to Midland with these.
Oh yeah, bro. Place sucks.
So how is your guys? I didn't get a chance to look at your guys' record. What is the record of Sacred Heart right now?
So if I'm not mistaken, I think we're 1 above 500. Let me check.
Nice.
I'm pulling up, and I think.
Did you play Iona this year or no?
We played them in the fall, actually.
Yeah, that was my last school. All my boys are still there.
Because I know Fish, who's the assistant coach there. I know Fish, and then one of my boys plays there as well, third baseman. But yeah, we're 14 and 14. We're 500, and the story is, so last year, on top of me not being able to play, we had the worst season in program history. I think we went 12 and 41, and our entire coaching staff got fired and everything. So we already have more wins than last year, which is great.
That is great. As I finished scratching this off, the winning numbers were 8 and 6, and we did not get an 8 or a 6.
Damn, bro.
But
Tough bid.
We will win one. I think the next time you come on, we'll be a winner. We're gonna clip that too and have it in there. Josh, thank you for coming on. This has been amazing, dude. I hope we can stay more in contact because I loved hearing all the stories you had to share today.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
always rooting for you. And let's definitely get you on for a part 2. Maybe after the 100-day faces they're gone, maybe we'll have you on again and
Wait
everyone
for
will be
day
like, oh, who the
100.
hell who's this guy now that he's got no facial hair? But no, really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, boys. This was a fun one, and I have a million other stories I can tell. I'm sure you guys have a million of your own too. I think we can continue to shoot the shit, and I'd want to do it as well. So
Let's do it. Yeah, let's definitely plan time to get a part 2 going. We'll get everything posted on beyondthefield.pod. It's going to be released on YouTube, Spotify. We'll post 3-ish reels throughout the week. If you like the reels, want to do a collab post, we can do that. If not,
sure,
no big deal. We're just trying to get the stories out there of all the people we interview. And I mean, these stories were amazing in
yeah,
their own way. So thank you again.
good deal. I'm all for it. I appreciate it. And I got a game tomorrow. Hopefully, we're getting in and we're killing it and not thinking anything. So
don't
I don't know when.
just go out there, compete again, have fun while doing it. Remember, it's just a game. You're going to be doing it till that right arm falls off. So there's no turning back, and just go out there and ball out.
You goddamn right, kid. I appreciate it. Likewise, you.
Yeah,
let's do it.